I say there are wins and there are lessons. There aren't losses. I learned from losing a game, but I wouldn't consider it a loss. I consider it, a moral gain because I learned from that.
Markus Anthony Howard, born March 3rd, 1999. I'm usually never shocked of the reason when I remember or a name is suggested that many say should be in the NBA, as there's always a good explanation as to why they're not. Today's feature is not one of those times. It's of a guy I really think should be in the league right now that's done just about everything you could ask a player to do to make himself a first-round pick, or at least hearing his name called before the draft is finished. Undrafted in 2020 after literally an all-time great college career as a top 25 scorer of all time, at a school in Marquette, underrated for having the talent they've had, in one of the best conferences in NCAA competition I can remember, leading their all-time scoring list as well. He played all 4 years, ensuring his development was at peak performance to have a special individual senior season, springboarding him into the NBA. He led the nation in scoring that year at an insane 27.8 points a game, shooting 41% from 3, taking 10 a game. In fact, he's never had a season where he shot less than 40% from 3, with a career-high 55% from deep his freshman year, attempting 5 a game. His career average of 42.7% is better than Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on that level, two players usually mentioned among the top 3 as the best shooters of all time. He regularly went for 30 and 40 points, but became the third player to score 50 points in a game in 3 straight seasons. By the end of his career, his jacket was so decorated with awards and records, you couldn't dream of a situation where this guy wasn't a lottery pick. But like Skee-Lo, I wish Howard was a little bit taller. Maybe he would have gotten the chance to do what he's proven he could since high school, then in college, and to some extent the NBA, score. Or not trapped in the unfortunate circumstances he found himself in when it was time to cash in on all the ribbons he received as an amateur and turn those into a long, successful NBA career. Although Markus Howard did obviously make the NBA, he only managed to play garbage time in 68 games for the Denver Nuggets before leaving the NBA hub and signing on to play in Spain July 2022. He's only 23 years old, so in no way does this mean another more fitted opportunity in the NBA won't come along soon. But it is shocking that Markus Howard is not in the league, and here's why I think that is. Let's talk about it. Salute to Tony Michael for this request. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Markus Howard is a 5'11" point guard born in Morristown, New Jersey before moving to Chandler, Arizona and starting his high school career at Perry High School in Gilbert. He and his brother made a few waves on the internet for being high school's splash brothers in Marcus's freshman year, where he led the team to a state semifinals, averaging 23 points a game. He completely exploded his sophomore year, leading the state in scoring at 32 points a game, taking his team to another state tournament. He was committed to Arizona State since the ending of his freshman year, but ultimately decided to sign with Marquette during his junior season at New Home Findlay Prep. Howard then reclassified, making that his final year in high school before heading to Marquette, which couldn't have been a better choice for him as a player. Stunt number 1, other than that. Oh Jesus, as the great Red Hope Bill Burr would say, here comes the dreaded question tweeners hate to know will inevitably be asked about them. What else does he do? Markus Howard, first of all, should never be listed as a shooting guard like I've seen before, but at times that's exactly what he plays like. With that being the case, his height works against him because for whatever 1,000 reasons, the NBA believes shorter players can play positions other than point guard. Don't tell that to Bruce Brown, who's like 6'2" without shoes, pretty much playing center. But for highly capable but diminutive scorers, There's always been this stigma that they should have to do more than if they were 6'4" and did the same things, a la Bradley Beal. Beal at shooting guard didn't score nor distribute as well as Howard leaving college, and even in the NBA, his assists and defense leaves much to be desired. But a Beal can be taken lottery and groomed into the player he became, and not a guy like Howard, who just may have even more of a scoring skill set. At Marquette, the team needed Markus to score big for them during some of their rebuilding years from 2016 to 2020, where they made the tournament twice in Howard's 4 years, the other 2 first-round exits, so Howard was called on often to dig the team from early holes and keep some games close enough. In doing so, he didn't work on his passing and getting his teammates involved, averaging just 3 assists for his career. He was a Big East All-Freshman at 13 points and 54% from 3, upping that significantly to 20 points a game, taking 8 threes at 40%. Not to mention an NCAA leading 93.8% from the foul line. He was named second team All-Big East. In his junior and senior seasons, Markus elevated his scoring year after year, first at 25 points a game, scoring 45 points on both Kansas State and Buffalo. He was the unanimous Conference Player of the Year as a junior, All-American, multiple Player of the Weeks, breaking the single-season conference record for points scored. As a senior, he was on another level, improving again as a scorer at 27.8 points a game, top 10 in threes made in the conference, took over in career scoring leaders and highest points per game in conference play ahead of my man Troy Bell, and still none of it mattered because all scouts wanted to know was, other than that, what else can he do? He was easy to pass up in a league where scoring guards is not a problem. Stunt number 2, signed by the Nuggets. The second reason I think Markus Howard isn't in the league is because he was signed to the wrong team after going undrafted. The Nuggets simply didn't have the opportunity for an undrafted, one-dimensional, undersized guard with all the options they had at Howard's position. Other than Jamal Murray, there was Monte Morris, Gary Harris, Will Barton, PJ Dozier, Troy Daniels, and Jordan McRae, along with Howard fighting for position to be on the floor as a point guard or shooting guard. He signed a 2-way deal with the team, meaning he'd spend some time in the G League as well, and with an almost guarantee he would perform well there, while getting the reps up he couldn't in the NBA, he was sure to find a spot full-time. He was that good of a scorer. But that didn't happen as a rookie. He played just 5 minutes a game and averaged 3 points. Denver would sign him to another 2-way his second year, and he was even better, scoring 4 points in 5 minutes. Minutes and a chance to grow just wasn't coming with the Nuggets on their jam-packed roster, and it hurt Howard not being signed by a more fitting team. Stunt number 3, mixing the two. Lastly, in constructive critique, Howard, if he ever wants to play in the NBA again, he'll have to take being a point guard more serious. I know with his amazing ability, that I love to watch by the way, of scoring, it can get easy to fall into that, and that becomes all you want to do and be known for. There's nothing wrong with bringing those points a game average down, like he should have as a senior at Marquette, and work on getting those assist numbers up, and show a coach or scout that you can bring a lot more to the table. In his 60-plus games in the league, Markus averaged 0.4 assists a game, and although limited minutes, that's not encouraging for teams that don't want to sign their next defensive disadvantage who can't guard bigger guards, or guy who can only score when we already have at least 2 all-stars that can do the same. He has to find a way to mix scoring and distribution along with defense to make him a better, more attractive player for the NBA. All in all, I enjoy watching Markus Howard play. A fearless scorer, even willing to turn down his high-paid Nuggets teammates to take the shot himself. He had a tremendous basketball history, and I still can't believe this much circumstance and timing goes into whether you make it and stick or not. Howard is missing a few elements he will try to acquire in Spain, but until then, for these reasons, his growth is being stunted. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.